Here I have a straight razor. You've probably seen these in old Western movies and such. Of course, you don't make reed knives with this, but I brought it to illustrate a point. I hope in the camera you can see that it's very thin and it's hollow. Let's see if I can, there we go. That should do the trick. It's hollow on both sides. And that means that it's extra good for cutting, which is great if you want to shave. So it takes off the hair with absolutely no effort whatsoever. Now, we've got to be careful the way you do this, of course. It's all in understanding how the blade works. But if I wanted to do a scraping motion on a reed, for example, that would be devastating. The blade would die quite quickly. But I showed it because some of the very expensive reed knives that are made are built on the same principle. Now, I stress the word principle because they're usually made with much harder steel. I've only seen a couple, so I can't speak for all of them. They're probably not as thin. They're probably thicker than this one. And yeah, so they can resist the cutting. They can resist the scraping motion much better. Whereas this one cannot at all. It's for hair, that's it, that's all. Okay. Now, this is my favorite. I've had this knife, must be for close to 20 years now. And it is essentially a double hollow ground knife built on the same principle as the razor over here. But as you can see, it's much thicker. The advantage of the double hollow ground is that it is much easier to sharpen. Now, I've sharpened it so much that it has gotten a bevel over here. Okay, and I'll show you how it got this and why it got this shortly. The bevel is actually a design of knife, like this Pisoni knife. If you look for one that looks like this in the store, you won't find it because I've modified this one quite a lot. I've milled down the tip here so that it wouldn't have a point, but it would be square. And you can see some hollows in here. Let's see, there we go. You can see some hollow in there. I did those by hand using a grinding wheel. Now you can tell that they were done by hand and they were not done very well. I didn't have any sophisticated equipment to control the blade over the wheel, so you get this. Nonetheless, the hollow is there, and the purpose I put it there was for making it easier to sharpen.